To say Disney has been put through the ringer recently would be an understatement. All their major franchises are underperforming, with the Marvels set to be the latest in a series of major flops. An activist investor is at their gate, trying to get a foothold within the company to change things, while public perception about their intentions continues to be damaged by whiny brats like Rachel Zegler. In what was seemingly a direct response to Zegler's god-awful Snow White remake, now the Daily Wire has entered the ring with their own adaptation of the original grim fairy tale. Considering the Daily Wire is a conservative company, that obviously drew a ton of rage and complaints from the 3 fans who were excited for Disney's version. In a strange turn of events, Disney released a confusing image from their remake that leads people to believe they felt threatened enough to make major changes, or that they lied from the beginning. Either way, this whole Snow White situation is hilarious and definitely worth taking a deeper look at. Snow White has been in the public eye for a while now, thanks to Hollywood's new Queen of the Damned, Rachel Zegler. Her comments about the movie were just terrible. How anyone with even the smallest amount of intelligence could think saying things like this would benefit them shows how out of touch these people truly are.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
I'm not exaggerating here. I feel a bit of my soul die every time I have to edit clips of Zegler. Hearing her talk is like a shock to the spine. Pure, unfiltered cringe cranked up to 100. The smugness and resentment she has towards the very people she's meant to be entertaining is incredible. Her idiotic comments drew a lot of unwanted attention from fans, and it seems like she's not planning to learn any lessons from this. Recently, she addressed the controversy by claiming that as a Latino performer, she learned the hard way that we have to be fearless and loud in order to be heard, and to prepare for the backlash that comes with that outspokenness.
Is this a joke? Is this a joke?
The level of delusion this girl has is unreal. Her brain can actually come to a logical conclusion that taking a shit all over Disney's most iconic cartoon by calling it misogynistic and outdated is just her way of being outspoken, and that the reaction fans had for being attacked was their attempt to silence her. Because, you see, obviously in her 22 years on this earth, she's already better than all of us common peasants. We should be learning from her and embracing her infinite wisdom. God forbid anyone that existed before her actually did something right. No, they were all sexists and racists, and all the other ist and phobe words. Don't even get me started on her comments about the Hunger Games. She must have felt jealous of what happened when Jennifer Lawrence was hilariously exposed into backtracking that she was the first female action star, and decided, let me get in on some of that embarrassment. Like I said before, this is a special brand of delusion. To genuinely believe nothing that came before you matters or even exists, and that you're blazing a path forward for everyone when you're really just shitting on what other far superior actresses did decades ago.
This is all about me. Me.
Seeing their opportunity to further beat the dead horse that is Disney, the Daily Wire jumped in to announce their own version of Snow White with Brett Cooper. If you don't know, Cooper is a famous conservative YouTuber who's built her platform by mocking woke nonsense, and she had a lot to say about her version of Snow White. In a statement that would make Rachel Zegler throw a temper tantrum, Cooper actually expressed how excited she was to adapt this story, specifically citing things like the classic romantic and moral aspects of the fairy tale. Wow, an actress actually excited to embody a character with traditionally female characteristics? Clearly she's a misogynist. Oh wait, no, she's a sexist. No, that's not it. I'm sure those blue-haired Twitter crybabies will come up with something to call her. After all, can't have an attractive woman actually embrace her feminine side and be proud of it. Time to knock her down. She needs to accept the role of an independent, free-thinking woman by saying and doing exactly what those weirdos classify as being acceptable of a woman. Yay for feminism!
Oh, somebody kill me, please!
In a recent video, Cooper addressed the criticism that people don't just want propaganda from the other side, they want propaganda-free entertainment. Her response was that this wouldn't be a MAGA conservative movie, and that they were just looking to represent the core timeless values that Disney has long since abandoned. Darn those conservative women, don't they know that traditional things like love, kindness, and romance are outdated? Anyway, it's too early to tell if they'll actually follow through on their promise of a propaganda-free Snow White, but frankly, seeing as how the woke mob would consider a love story to be propaganda for those sexist pigs who want women to do disgusting things like have families and be good mothers, they'll likely see it as being some crazy conservative fantasy regardless.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can you just imagine if this movie somehow outperformed Disney's version? It's unlikely, but man, would it be fucking hilarious to witness Twitter pull their blue hair out at the sight of that happening. Speaking of Disney, they released an image from their Snow White remake along with a delay announcement, and it's causing a lot of confusion. The image shows Zegler's Snow White surrounded by what seem like accurate looking dwarves. A while back we saw some set footage that matched with what Disney had been saying about revamping the story to do away with stereotypes, and we saw their 7 dwarves who looked more like 7 diverse self-identifying humans. So apparently their idea of being progressive was to take jobs away from real actors and instead use CGI to create the dwarves. Really helping the cause there, Disney.
Hey, asshole! You guys suck!
Some people are speculating this was a reaction to all the Zegler controversies in the Daily Wire, basically Disney's attempt to now embrace the original cartoon, but I highly doubt that. This delay is probably due to the strikes and other production issues. As nice as it would be to see them backtrack, Disney has been willing to die on this hill of woke nonsense for a while now, and unless those major corporate changes actually happen, I don't see anything getting better. Others pointed out it could be part of a fairy tale curse, with both versions of the dwarves appearing in the movie, which seems more plausible. The explanation that makes the most sense to me is that these are 2 separate sets of characters. As one leaker points out, these 7 diverse self-identifying humans will actually be bandits, and one of them is the beta non-love interest. The dwarves are their own thing and will probably split the screen time they had in the original cartoon with these bandits. Sounds fucking ridiculous, but frankly all these explanations sound dumb enough to be in a Disney movie.
Idiots doing idiot things because they're idiots.
Now, like I mentioned earlier, I think this Snow White controversy is hilarious, but it's nothing new. It's the same bullshit we've all come to expect from Hollywood. Snow White is just the latest battleground for the same tired arguments most people are sick of dealing with. Yes, we get it, we're all misogynists and sexists because we enjoy stories about love, romance, and other traditional values. At a certain point, hearing these things doesn't affect or surprise you. The only real change is the way it's presented. Rachel Zegler has become the face for woke Hollywood in a way Brie Larson never was. The smug way she talks down to fans clearly lets you know she thinks we should all be looking up to her and learning from her. Because as a 22-year-old spoiled brat, she knows better than all of us mere peasants. Inevitably, people are going to capitalize on that type of controversy, and the Daily Wire did just that. Whether or not their version will live up to the promise of propaganda-free entertainment remains to be seen, but the fact that Brett Cooper seems excited to play an accurate Snow White, while Zegler sounds more like the evil queen, speaks volumes to me.